going to do part 2. We just didn't know when it was going to happen.
Right.
So this is a ripe time to do it. So I'm grateful to be back on the pod. So I appreciate it.
Man, appreciate all the game that you gave. I learned a lot too. So, last week I was like, oh, I'm not that good at finances. This week I'm better. But that's the journey, though. Even if you don't know, you learn as you go. Right?
Absolutely.
But man, with everything that's going on, Trump's out here with the wars and everything. And a lot of people are afraid, with their money, not knowing if their job is still going to be around.
Yeah.
How does that look from you from a financial perspective?
Yeah. So the fear is real. I would say that this is probably one of the more anxiety-ridden times for not only the American economy, but also the global economy.
Right.
Because, people float around like World War and all these things. But even if it's not a conflict that happens with guns and bullets, it's still a conflict of economies.
Yep.
And who has control of what, who controls what piece of technology, what piece of land, what piece of the water. All of those things make a play into what impacts us on a day-to-day basis.
Right. Because let me tell you, I have never in my life seen gas at $5 in Houston, Texas.
It's been a wild time. Like we're at LA prices, and in LA it's probably like $6-7, and that's what's crazy. Yeah.
Good luck, y'all. Because, and it's like now we're trying to figure out. A lot of people are uncertain. Like, what should I do with my money?
Yeah.
What should I do to prepare for the worst?
Yeah. So the way I look at it, and I've been talking to a lot of people because during this time, there's, hey, should I pull all my money out of the market? And I think we talked about that the previous episode. If you do that, you're kind of just pricing in your losses. The market has weathered pretty much everything. Remember, we've had depressions, we've had 9/11, we've had 2008. Typically, the people who like to make the money don't like to lose it. So the equity market and our market will somewhat, maybe not be stable, but my guess it'll recover as it always has. The challenges that we're going to run into is what you mentioned is the inflation.
Right.
Because just because people are making money in the stock market doesn't mean that that's hitting our pockets to where we go buy our groceries, our gas, our clothing. All of those things will be more expensive probably here in the near future.
It already is.
Yeah. And I think that our president doesn't like to call it a war, but this war,
essentially what it is,
it has definitely impacted the way we get goods and services, and also how goods and services are priced here in America. I don't know if you saw, Amazon is already putting a new fee on top of their tariff fee already based on what's happening with this conflict. So it's already impacting the American consumer.
Oh, yeah. Even I seen it the other day, Delta said they're raising some prices, some fee, their baggage fee. It's like $45 now. Yeah.
And they almost have to do that because if, as a company, you have shareholders, those shareholders are expecting you to make profit. And in order for you to make profit, you got to pass those costs on to the consumer
with no excuses.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a capitalist society does.
Right.
That's the only way you have capitalism is by, backing into, well, someone's got to pay for this. It's going to be the end consumer at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, as a consumer, what should I be doing right now? What advice? This is not free.
It's not financial advice. Yeah.
This is just a discussion. I'm glad you had the lingo.
Hey, you got to do it. Yeah.
What would be some ideal things that somebody could look into? Let me say it like that.
Yeah. So right now there's probably, if you're sitting down with people or you're trying to figure out your budget, what I've encouraged people to do is really look at how you spend.
Right.
Because how you spend may determine where your investments may go over the next 3, 6, 9 months. Because I think we're going to be in a volatile period up until about the midterms and maybe shortly after.
Right.
Because a lot of this volatility would be happening anyway in an election year, but even more so because this is a consequential year. So if I was to give people some thoughts on what I've been looking at, it's not necessarily that you need to make changes in your portfolio. You need to make sure your portfolio is balanced correctly. And let me give you an example of what I mean. If you sit down with someone, they may say, hey, well, right now you might have too little international equity in your portfolio because some of these emerging markets may start to grow now after this conflict's end. So let's rebalance and make sure you're in international equity enough. You may have too much, sovereign debt in and I'm using some terms that, some of you may get, but just ways where you need to rebalance your dollars to make sure you're making the most use out of what's happening in the market.
Stay off Uber Eats.
Yeah, but that's going to be you sitting down and determining where you're spending your money, because you might have money that you can, and it's sad to say, benefit from the conflict, but that is true. There will be people who make a lot of money off of war.
Absolutely.
That's just how it goes.
That's any situation. Even COVID created millionaires.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, and that's capitalism, though. Again, that is capitalism. Like in times of crisis, there will be people who hedge that crisis and make a lot of money.
Because if you think about it, who was really talking about Microsoft Teams or Zoom or Google Meets before 2020? I
never heard of Zoom.
Never.
I had never heard of Zoom until COVID.
See? Because it was a demand for it, though. Yeah. It was something that was like, okay, people are stuck at home. I'm about to capitalize on it. And I worked remote pre-COVID.
Yeah.
There wasn't no Zoom. We picked up the phone and called each other.
Or you probably used, there used to be an old school one. It barely even works now. And I'm going to look that up because it's going to bother me.
GoToMeeting.
GoToMeeting was one, but there was another one that they had came around, and they had been around for a while. And then Zoom, and then the next thing you know, Microsoft, and the next thing you go, Skype.
Yeah.
So Skype had the game.
They had it.
They had it.
It's kind of like Blockbuster when Netflix and stuff came
Absolutely. Around. But Skype should have been the one.
If
you think about it, Skype, they were the first really in the market, but maybe they weren't ready to scale when COVID happened.
I don't think. Well, nobody was really prepared for that. But
Zoom felt prepared though.
They did capitalize.
You see what I'm saying? It felt like almost like they knew this was gonna happen.
I was just getting ready to say that. Somehow, how did y'all know? Because
it makes no sense to me.
It went straight into it.
It was perfect timing for them to be a small player in San Francisco to now a national, international player in the market. So whoever had Zoom stock at that time, congrats to you.
Good.
Yeah, congrats to you.
Because I'm thinking of it like this too, because they were so small, they had way more room to grow than Skype, who was already kind of established in their way.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, but even still, Skype, it's maybe marketing and advertising. Something made Zoom be the digital platform of choice during COVID, and they've been since.
Yeah,
they just now started getting real competition with the new services from Microsoft, the new services from Google. But Zoom had a good runway for about 4 years.
They have. Man.
Yeah,
90% of the calls I get on is Zoom.
Yeah, I mean they had a good run. I mean, and I know this is kind of off tangent of what we were talking about, but there will be people just like that now. Especially with the advance of AI, where we can all kind of build our own tools, there's going to be the next Zoom that comes out of this conflict.
Oh, absolutely.
Something of that nature that'll carry someone forward out of this conflict for sure.
You bring a circle around. This is your opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, without question.
I know a lot of people are going to be moving off of fear, but this is literally an opportunity. If you see it, if you can find it. AI, I build a lot of stuff with AI.
Me too, all the time.
15 minutes, quick thoughts. So use the resources that you have now to create that financial future, because this is not going to happen forever. It's going to end at some point. Right?
Not at all. Yeah.
And when you get to the end of it, you're going to be like, what happened? Because COVID, I'm so mad at myself.
Man, I think a lot of us were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We didn't take advantage of COVID like we should have.
Yeah, and I was at home like, we ain't got to do nothing. We just here. But
that's because we were working already. So we looked at it more of a respite. Yeah. Instead of, I should go more this time. But
get a hobby because you're at home.
Absolutely.
So speaking of that, what about the entrepreneurs, who are, trying to run their businesses and all this is happening? I know a lot of companies are suffering because the tariffs and the prices to get their goods and stuff are going up.
Yeah. So there's kind of two things that I've seen that's really impacted, and I'll go on the smaller end of businesses. Okay. 100 employees or less, might be in a position to where they've got some W-2, some contract work. What's happening now, a lot of that contract labor is starting to get let go.
Yeah.
Because companies are determining that, hey, if I'm already paying more for the goods and services that we provide, or the cost of my use facility is getting more expensive, or the licensing fees or whatever that I have to use to run my business are getting more expensive, you have started to see some attrition in their workforce. So that is a real thing. So that's one type of business. The second type of business that I've seen are your service-based businesses where they would typically rely on more consumers coming in, i.e. the Hive is one of those. We've seen people pull back from some of those type of projects. Hey, we might have had a passion project for someone over a 2-month period where now they may say, hey, that doesn't fit within my budget now.
Right.
So there's a trickle, like what I don't think our politicians consider. They're always thinking about the wealthiest, and if
they're eating good.
That you see what I'm saying? It's one of those where if they're considering that the wealthiest, the people who are their donors, the people who lobby them, aren't complaining. It doesn't matter what's happening to us here at the lower end of the scale. It's because all of us are experiencing that. Both service and the people who are providing products to people are both experiencing a restriction right now.
Yeah, because I see somebody said it the other day. If the politicians had to live like the everyday people, they would complain about it too and make changes.
But what's crazy is they had to at one point.
Yeah,
or at least the politicians, or I would say your House of Reps.
Right.
Like the purpose of the House of Reps was it's supposed to be more of your common person who was associated with that district, who knew the people in that district, who are supposed to be there for 2 years to be able to maintain a relationship with the district. But what happens is the districts get gerrymandered so much that person never has to concern about their job again.
Right. And I think some people, when they get the money, they forget what it felt like not to have it.
I don't even know how that's possible, man. That's crazy. Like, give me the money, like,
please.
I'm gonna remember how it felt.
I remember, it don't feel good.
I'm gonna remember how it felt. You know, I am managing people's money. Like, I'm very, I'm a fiduciary, so I'm doing everything in best interest of someone that I manage. And there are several times where I'm having conversations like, man, you probably shouldn't do this.
Right.
It'll benefit me, you doing whatever we're talking about.
Right.
But it does not benefit you at all. And you have to be comfortable in my environment to say things like that.
You do, because there are some people who will take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
To have that heart posture of saying like, okay, I know I can take a win from you making this mistake, but I don't want you to make it, because even that does smear your name too.
Absolutely.
Like my dude told me to do this and I did it and they failed. And they're like, now people hearing
Agreed.
that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have failures.
Absolutely.
See, that's the thing. So it's not one of those where, I'm batting 1,000, but I'm going to do what I feel like is, or I'm going to give advice. I'm going to give recommendations to what I feel like is in best interest of you, even if it is to the detriment of me.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I would like to write. I had something I was going the other day. I was like, man, you know what? I'd love to take this money from you, but I don't feel like it's sound right now. So let's do another option. Let's work our plan this way. It will get to your investment later on.
Yeah, and that speaks to your character, though.
No, well, I appreciate that. Yeah,
you have to have good character. You working with me? I can say it. I tell people anytime they ask, like, I'm building this by myself. So the little people who are helping me, and I say little, but the few people who are helping me, in little areas, I'm like, appreciate it.
Nah,
sure.
yeah, and like we've talked about this before, maybe off camera. Like, you can go far alone. You really can, but it's going to be fast and there's going to be a lot of burnout.
Yep.
But you can go much further together. And it's going to be a slower process, but the rewards at the end of it will be much greater.
Yeah. The best structures are built slowly.
Agreed. Completely
brick
agree.
by brick.
Yeah, completely agree.
Now we live in that microwave society where everybody wants it now. Nobody wants to season and I lost the word that quick.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Nobody wants to season and marinate the food.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to throw it in there and eat it now.
And that's in the investment world too. I mean, I get, I guess the content and your shows and other content that I've been on, I'll get the DM of, well, man, I got this 1,000. How can we turn it to 10? And I'd be like, hey, brother, that's not what I do. Like, because if I could do that, I don't need you. Like, I'm good. I'm just going to turn every 1,000 I got to 10 and not be working right now, So I think people don't understand. There's a long game to this as well.
Yeah, that's street lingo. I'm
going to
come buy this product and I'm going to flip it. But
yeah. I've been getting a lot of DMs of, man, I got, this two bands. Let's figure out how to make it 20. Oh, so you want 1,000% return on your money,
which is unrealistic. In a lot of places,
but people do present opportunities to people. That's 1,000% return.
I wouldn't trust any of those, though.
It happens. You'll be surprised, man. You'll be surprised.
I know people take it. Like, really? Because it's that hunger for money, and because how can we help people to see that money's a resource and not the source?
Well, I think first we got to get them out of scarcity.
Okay.
So I think a lot of there's a lot of financial literacy and a lot of financial education, and I'm not trying to act like I'm above the fray of this, but most of the time when people are in like a scarce situation, it don't matter what you tell them. They're just trying to make it to the next bill cycle.
Right.
They're trying to make it to the next car payment. But once you can get people out of that, then you can talk about how you can use money for a resource. You can use money to propel you moving forward versus just living.
Right.
But I think that scarcity, it's tough, man. A lot of us are in scarcity. Even people that you don't consider to be, they're in scarcity. They may have a nice car, they may have a good job, but at the end of the month, they may be down to $2.
Yeah, I spoke with a guy the other day. He was trying to be a client of mine. And I was like, at the end of your bills, like current day, like how much do you have? He was like, oh, I have like $200.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you work 7 days a week and that's all you have at the end?
Man, you'll be so. I don't think we may have gotten to this last time, and if we didn't, I'll bring it up again. The average American, and hell, put me in average right now, but the average American can't afford an emergency of over $400.
Yeah.
So
I always hear 1,000.
It's 400.
Okay.
That the number 1,000 is probably household.
Okay.
But if just say you need to go get 2 tires right now, I'm gonna just use you as the avatar. You might be putting those tires on credit. You may not have the cash to just be like, hey, I need to go get those. And then now when you put them on credit, you've got some interest that you're going to be responsible for if you're not able to pay that in a certain period of time.
Right.
So now you've not only compounded the tire situation, you've also taken on debt. But you know what, man? I need my car.
Yeah.
I gotta get to work.
I gotta get to work. I gotta get to this meeting.
I gotta take the
Go
kids.
out. Exactly.
Yeah, so we end up in a rat race, and that's why to me planning is so important.
Yeah, because on credit cards gonna be a devil.
Man, trust me. Any debt can be the devil that's unsecured.
Yeah.
Because secured debt typically will give you better rates, longer terms.
Right.
It's a collateralized product. So hell, if all hell fails, they can come pick up or get whatever it was. But that unsecured, man, you're stuck.
Still cleaning up.
It's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
How does for people who don't know, what is the difference between a secured and unsecured?
Yeah, no, great question. So secured debts are things like your vehicle, your home, if you've purchased a piece of equipment for a business. And then an unsecured would be basically you making a personal guarantee. So the security is only you.
Right.
So credit card is typically an unsecured debt. Sometimes you can get a personal loan from a bank or a line of credit. Those are typically unsecured. There always will be more short-term, higher interest. The secured things will be more long-term, lower interest rates.
All right. Because I've seen somebody get a home. I ain't gonna say that's the store, but get a store card. They bought like maybe $2,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And they paid that minimum. Yeah. For like 2 or 3 years. And I said, you bought that item about 4 times.
Absolutely, if not more. And it's not that. And see, so that's why I'm a cash flow person. So hey, it's not a big deal that you went and bought that and used that credit card.
Right.
But if your cash flow isn't able to sustain more than that minimum payment, then it may not be the time right now to buy what you just bought.
Right.
But that's a hard thing for people to swallow.
Oh, it is.
Because we want what we want when we want it.
And you can't tell me I can't have it.
You cannot. And delayed gratification is, I think we may have talked about this last time, is one of the best skills you can have.
It's a hard concept to learn, though.
But
for sure.
Man, it might be the hardest concept. Because if you can delay that gratification for something greater, the rewards they never miss. They never miss.
Yeah. Because you always have that thought like, okay, what if I don't make it to the end?
Well, you didn't. I mean, that's how you. I mean, you didn't
it is what it is.
You don't even know. So, I mean, that because life is layered, man. Like we could not be here tomorrow.
You're right.
But you won't know.
You won't.
So what does it matter? Like, I mean, do the best, and that's what also makes people spend frivolously too, because they'll say, "Well, what if I'm not here tomorrow?" Like you're saying. Well, that nihilism doesn't help you either. Like if your only thoughts are, well, I gotta only live once.
I can't take it with me.
then you're not doing a service for yourself there either.
So it's more so of a mindset shift. Like, okay, I might not be here tomorrow, but you might be.
Correct. And actually anchoring on well, hey, if it's not about me, maybe it's for my kids.
Yeah.
If it's not about me, maybe it's for someone that I mentor. Like you should always try to bake in something greater than yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the why.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this every day? Why are you getting up? Because a lot of people are doing jobs that they don't like.
Absolutely.
And it's because they want to take care of their families. But see, I see a lot of like when people pass away, you always see those GoFundMes pop up.
Yeah.
And you can tell like, okay, this person probably didn't have a life insurance policy. We talked about that last week.
Yep.
Go back and watch the last episode if you need to know more information about that. Or that the person spends so much money that when they pass away, they didn't have anything.
Yeah. I mean, most of us will pass with zero assets.
I'm not trying to pass.
No, but that's a real thing.
It's a real
especially in the Black and brown community.
Oh yeah.
Most of us will pass with zero assets and be in debt. Gone are the days of where, you might have had a grandparent or two that had a property in an area that started getting gentrified. And like I talked about at the end, hey, go buy those properties. Go try to find those people who would prefer to sell it to someone who looks like us.
Oh yeah.
Because gone are the days, because housing isn't even affordable really anymore.
It's not.
I mean,
anymore.
I can remember, I'm showing my age. The first house that I bought was $94,000.
I wish.
2 bed. That's what I'm saying. 2 bed, 2 bath.
Really?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Yes.
I have to remember where that was.
Now, mind you, I'm about to be 46.
Okay.
So this is 18 years ago.
Okay. About 20.
That same house now is worth like $400,000. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and that is a starter house. Okay. It is like it's not a condo, but it's like in a duplex unit, but it's like we still had a yard and things like that. Not worth $400,000.
Really?
But since we're not making any more land near downtown Jacksonville,
Right.
near the landing where
It's prime location now.
Now, they got NFL team around the corner from there. They had a Super Bowl there. Like it's all kinds of stuff that's happening. Housing isn't affordable. So where does that first time home buyer go? They got to be in programs, or they need to get connected to someone to support them, or get an affordable house or a house hack. It just makes it more difficult. Our American dream looks way different than it did our people 50 years prior.
Oh yeah. Now we're trying to survive in most places. Let's say somebody does need like assistance. They're trying to buy a house.
Yeah.
Right now. I ain't gonna say that. But
yeah, nah.
Like, what does that process look like? Do you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think there's kind of 3 things that I would say if you're looking to purchase a home. One, know your numbers, and I'm gonna be very specific with this. You really have to know what you can afford.
Right.
So that first thing to do is get that pre-approval, figure out what you need to do with your credit profile and or what you need to do with your income profile.
Right.
But then after that, you've got, hey, you may only got approved for $100,000. And then let's go see what programs are available. There's NACA, NACA. NACA will go in. It's a program where you go through some classes, you go through some education. Hey, man, they'll help you with down payment assistance. They'll also help you with your first year of your mortgage and things like that. Okay, you can also back into the city of Houston has programs if you're here in a Houstonian.
You can local government.
Yeah, hey, you can go to the Affordable Housing Commission and work with them. There's Operation Hope. There's Black Men Buy Houses, the organization that I'm involved in. There are plenty of people that want you in a property that will do what they can to make sure that you qualify and in a property that you could sustain.
Right.
The challenge that we had in our community before, if you remember 08, 09, people were getting in houses that they couldn't sustain. And then that scared away a lot of us.
Right.
That scared away a lot of us from getting back in the housing market, because a lot of us lost those houses from about 08 to about 2015.
Yeah.
Like it just was a period of time where either you had an ARM loan, which is an adjusted rate mortgage, where, hey, I was able to get in at 6%, but in 5 years, I didn't realize it was going to balloon to 12%.
Right.
And then now my payment went from $1,000 a month that I could afford to $2,400. I can't do this anymore. I'm losing the house.
Right.
So it's things like that we were subjected to that we didn't realize as a community, that now there should be enough information, education out there to get you in a program. So I would say figure out your numbers first, get you some assistance from a place, and then also get you a mentor who has purchased houses before. Because even if it's a single family, that person can walk you through, oh man, I did this, I did that. You should avoid this, avoid this area. Don't do those things. Don't go at it alone. There's enough of us that's been in this process long enough to get you through these steps.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem. As black and brown people, we don't want to ask for help.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
In any area, not even just
in any
houses
area.
And money, but we do not want to ask for help for something.
And that's your industry. Why do we do that?
Pride.
A lot of people, pride. That makes sense. Yeah.
A lot of people from like in their childhood area, they were let down when they got asked for help. And think about it, like if, as a kid, you go ask your mother for help and you get fussed at or something like that. That kind of lingers. We don't see it.
Yeah.
But well, we don't recognize it, but it comes up.
It does. Yeah. I wouldn't consider that, but you're right. Like there probably is some conditioning from us. Like, one thing I always used to say is if you grew up like in a church, and you had a talent, there may be people in church who are like, oh, you think you're special. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sits with you.
Right.
And you're like, well, maybe I'm not special. Well, right. You probably were.
Because they make it seem like a bad thing.
They do make it seem like a bad thing when really you probably were special.
Right. That was probably your gift.
And now your gift is gone because
I don't think it ever really leaves. I just think you got to pick it back up.
Man, that's hard though. But that's your industry.
Right. It is hard. You got to try it. You definitely got to.
Yeah, that's your industry.
For me, cooking was always my thing.
Okay.
I was that kid, like when I wasn't at school, like kindergarten.
Okay.
I was watching the Food Channel. Even to this day, I'm always cooking. There was a time and period when I didn't, but when I picked it back up, I was like, oh.
So you still had the muscle then?
Yes, I had the muscle for it.
Got you. Okay.
But it was the initial like, okay, I got to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Like, how do I pick this back up? But I forgot where I was going with this one.
No, you good. You good.
No, I wish I would have known that about housing when I first bought, because nobody taught me any of that stuff. I just kind of just did it. And one thing I learned is that number that they approve you for doesn't mean you can afford it. Right?
Absolutely not. Yeah. Because remember, banks are in it to make money.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, push it more, because they also know everything goes wrong, I can foreclose on them.
Yep, I get a house.
I'm gonna sell it. They may sell it in the open market. They may not get exactly what they lent back, but they were able to collect interest from you. They were able to collect payments from you. And then now they've got a physical asset. So the banks, they don't want to be in a position to lose. So they're trying to, ramp that up. There's fees, there's closing costs, there's all kinds of things that make sense for the bank to lend you this money to purchase this home.
Yeah. And attorneys and real estate agents ain't gonna say nothing.
Absolutely not.
Some of them will. We got some good ones.
But it's that's not their position.
Yeah,
most of the time.
They're just like, okay, you want to find a house? Let me find it for you.
And they get a commission.
That check.
That 3%. I'm gonna get you in a bigger house too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's how it works.
The $500,000-$600,000 house, so I get that nice 3%.
Even when we know you're gonna have $1 at the end of the month, we're still pushing that as well, because that's just the nature of the game.
Oh yeah. You got it. Finances is really the world is a whole game. You got to just learn how to play it. Absolutely.
I think money is a game. For sure. Like it just really is, because it gets printed in thin air.
Yeah.
It just gets printed.
And then for me, I had to sit back one day and I thought about it. I said, we think of money as this physical paper, but then if you think about it, when you put it in the bank, it doesn't go anywhere. You just see this number.
Correct.
But so then it's like, okay, I have all this money, but it's really, you don't really have all this money.
Yeah.
That number can change.
It could change at any time. And keep in mind, when you put it in the bank is using it for their benefit.
They get interest off of it.
No, even more. They're lending it to people.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah. So not only the interest hopefully flows some to you, if you've got it in, savings accounts that earn high yield, things like that. So you can benefit also alongside the bank. But the way the bank stays afloat is you put in on-demand deposits. Well, let me stop using it. You put your money in the bank.
They need to learn these terms.
They're able to take a portion of that money and lend it to consumers based on their consumer products.
That goes back to that number.
And that goes back to that number that you're paying for, but you have protection of your bank. And then the government comes in with FDIC insurance to make sure that if anything happens to that bank, a certain portion of your money is guaranteed to come back to you. And that's the game. The game is that.
I always wonder, what if you have more money in that account than that insurance covers?
Then you're not going to get it back unless you go through some litigation. Now, there's ways to get the money, but that FDIC insurance is pretty standard. You'll be a list of debts that the bank will be responsible for. Like, for example, if they fold, so by the time they get to you, you may not get any money because they're going to be creditors. There's going to be
investors and stuff.
There's going to be a lot of people down that line. So you may get that first portion, but you may not get it all. I could be having some misinformation right here, but from my understanding, that's how it should work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the difference for those who don't know between like a regular savings account and a high yield?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, and I just want to go through bank accounts in general.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Because I think there's some misnomers on what people should do with their accounts.
Right.
That's why I always preach you need 3 accounts. Okay. You need one account that's purely for your expenses.
Okay.
And the reason
is like what?
Your month to month expenses,
Okay.
like things that you can't defer, living, transportation, food,
Okay.
Things like that.
Makes like bills.
Absolutely. You need an account there, and that's typically going to be your checking account.
Yeah.
The purpose of that, we don't write physical checks anymore, but the purpose of that account was that you could have that checkbook balanced to what you spent every month.
Right. I think that's a lost art.
I don't know anyone who keeps a ledger anymore.
And I think that helped a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. It lets you know what you couldn't spend.
Right. Now they want you to get QuickBooks.
Yeah. There's always the technology.
Always.
Yeah, there is. But that was the purpose of that. Like
Okay.
that's why we had home ec in school.
Do they teach that anymore?
No, I don't know. Someone might be able to tell us.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Put that in the comments.
Yeah. But that's why they had it, to learn how to balance a household.
Right.
Like, hey, this money comes in, it needs to be zeroed out at the end of the month, or what balance is left over, we move that into a savings account.
Right.
Now, the standard savings account are for things that may be more emergency related.
Okay.
Money that, hey, we're building this account, but we know we may go into this because, the human experience, emergencies happen.
All the time.
Every
Especially
day.
you see, accidents you see in the morning.
And then that account also can be built up for tax obligations.
Okay.
Because what else are we? There's only 2 things guaranteed as American: death and taxes.
For sure.
So,
Uncle Sam coming for his.
Yeah, nothing else is guaranteed.
Right.
As an American. You're going to die. You're going to pay taxes. Your freedom is not guaranteed here.
Right.
And we're learning that during some of this administration.
Exactly.
Okay. And then that third account is where we start to get a little creative. And that's more of like that high yield savings account.
Okay.
And what a high yield savings account does, it's invested is probably the wrong word, but you're paid interest on the money that you put into the bank based on what the bank is doing.
Okay.
So, they may, and it's based on the interest rates that are set by the Fed.
Okay.
Because there's the Fed is setting the rate that the banks borrow off of.
Okay.
And if there's a delta or a gap in between that, there's a yield that can also be paid to people who are putting money in these accounts. I encourage anyone to get a high yield. It's not going to be a lot of money. It might be, 3 to 5%, depending upon what's going on with market rates versus what's going on with the bank versus what's going on with the economy.
Right.
But it's a useful account to have because then you get comfortable with seeing your money grow. The regular savings account, you're not getting any interest.
If you don't touch it.
If you don't touch it. Yeah. But you have to be committed to not touching that account.
There goes the
That's the
delayed
problem.
gratification.
The other 2, we're gonna use these. I'm gonna use this checking. I'm gonna have a ledger at the end of the month. I know, hey, I zeroed out the $3,200 that we spend.
Right.
This account, man, great. We've got our 90 days of emergency expense, and we've got our tax liability potential at the end of this year. This one right here, we're going to grow this. We might start converting this into an IRA or something like that over a period of time.
Okay.
This gets you comfortable with what interest feels like. And once you start to see money go into an account that you didn't put in,
Right.
you're like, hey, how can I do more of this? That's where the magic of investing comes in.
The more you put in, the more you get.
Absolutely. But you could also lose. See, that's where,
Really?
You can always lose money, not in the high yield, but once you start doing investing.
I was talking about for the high yield.
Yeah, for the high yield. Now, you shouldn't lose anything in a high yield savings account. All they'll do is they'll dip the yield. Okay. So it might be 1 year at 5%. The next year, you'll get a statement in the mail if the interest rates change. They may say, hey, now we're only paying 3%. It's things like
a couple
that.
of times.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
your
all.
rate is going down. For what?
Yeah, and it's based on what's happening with the interest rates in the economy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about like money markets and like CDs and stuff?
Yeah, great. So a CD is just a certificate of deposit. So that's almost just like depositing money to the bank, but you're just doing it almost in a function where they're going to give you a percentage of interest based on that. The money market is basically the cash portion of the equity market.
Okay.
So money markets somewhat invest similar to mutual funds that are out in the market,
Okay.
but they're positions that you can take money out on a easier basis. Because typically when you have your money in the market, it's more restrictive to take it out.
Yeah.
Money markets are kind of like cash positions that you can get in and out of at a time, but they can participate in the market at the same. And then you'll even go a layer above like a money market, and you might start looking at ETF, like exchange traded funds. So it's kind of the same investment vehicles that are there, but a little more liquidity, a little more flexibility in getting those dollars out of those markets.
Okay. Going a little bit of depth of what a mutual fund is and an ETF.
Yeah, great. So what a mutual fund is just a collection of investments.
Okay.
So let's say that you're into technology. So what a mutual fund may do, there's going to be mutual fund managers.
Okay.
Let's say we're going to use Fidelity. That's a name everybody would know.
Everybody.
They're going to have a mutual fund that will combine, let's say, the top 50 tech investments at a fractional piece in there. So you might have a portion of NVIDIA, a portion of Tesla, a portion of Amazon, a portion of Facebook, Meta, etc., all in one investment. So your dollar, it might get split 50 ways.
Okay.
Because you're investing in all of them. So let's say Tesla has a poor year, but the other 49 did well. Your entire investment doesn't tank.
Okay.
And you're benefiting from all of those investments that are in that one bucket of money.
It's like less risk.
Yeah, you're almost hedging your risk, so to speak.
Okay.
There's still risk because the market has risk, but much less risk if you say, hey, I'm riding it all on NVIDIA.
Okay.
I believe in semiconductor chips. I believe in AI. Every dollar I'm investing in NVIDIA. Well, they may go bankrupt tomorrow.
They might.
And you're bankrupt now because you put all your dollars in that one. So that's how mutual funds
Don't
work.
put all your oranges in one basket.
Absolutely.
No. That's for me.
Yeah. But that's where you start getting into your philosophy on how you like to invest, also how liquid you want the money that you invest. Because some things, you may want it to sit longer and get a dividend and things like that versus, hey, this is just only for me to buy a boat. I'm going to put this money in this account for a period of time. We're taking it out for the boat purchase.
Essentially assigning your money a job.
Pretty much. Yeah. So there's different ways that you can definitely have a philosophy on investing.
Okay. They got me thinking.
Yeah. Hey, people, and that's what, when I sit down and talk to someone, one of the first things I'm doing is just seeing how risk averse they are.
Right.
Like, what's your risk profile? Because then that'll let me know what type of conversations we can have around your how risky you want to be. You might not want to do a mutual fund. You might be a ride it all out person. And you know what? If you're that way, you might not be the client for me.
Right.
Because I'm more risk averse.
So how can someone tell their risk level?
So there's several things. There's surveys that I like to use.
Okay.
Or I can know if I see what someone spends in 60 days, I have a pretty good idea how risky they are.
Can you give me an example of that? I don't want to make sure it's not me.
No. There's no. First off, all of us are in this together. So there's no one bad way or no good way. Like if I see like a lot of lottery ticket purchases or
I feel like that's a scam.
But even I'm just talking about the profile of the people.
I know.
Yeah.
When people say lottery, I'd be like a scam.
Or if I see like DraftKings,
gambling basically.
If I see or if I see real expensive maybe clothing that doesn't match the income.
Get out the Galleria.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I can determine that, hey, this person thinks that they'll always make the money back.
Okay.
Like I can think about that pretty quickly. And then with a series of questions, I can come up with a pretty good profile and say, hey, like I'll give you a question, for example.
Okay.
I'll give you a risk question now. So we're doing this live. Let's see
Uh-oh.
what you would think. All right. So if I gave you $1,000 right now, all right, we're going to walk out this room. Regardless, you're walking out with this $1,000.
All right.
Okay. Period. Okay. But in order to get this $1,000, you have to pick one of these two scenarios.
Okay.
All right. First scenario is when you walk out this room, regardless, there's going to be someone waiting there and they're taking 50% of that 1,000.
Okay.
Regardless. So you're walking out the room with 1,000.
Okay.
But the first scenario you're going to pick, there's going to be someone out there, they're robbing you for 50% of it. Nothing you can do. So you're only going to have 500 left.
They might die trying. But
Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Second scenario is before you leave this room, I'm going to let you flip a coin for a chance to win $2,500 now.
Okay.
But if that coin flip goes against you, I'm taking the 1,000 from you.
So either walk out with some guaranteed money or leave here with nothing.
No, or you can leave here with 2,500,
Or, I mean, you have the possibility of winning.
Nothing.
Okay.
So what are you gonna do? See, you're gonna ride it out. See, I can tell. So
I'll flip the coin.
I know. So that means that you're less risk averse than some people.
Well, I would flip the coin.
That's what I'm saying. You're less risk averse.
Okay.
Like so, you take risk.
Okay.
You're willing to. Man, I'm gonna ride it all. Why not just take the 500? What's your rationale to not take the 500?
I have a mindset of like, I know most people think, okay, what if I lose all the money? But my mindset is, what if I win all the money?
And that's a person who's willing to take risk.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
I'm good.
So I can do those type of questions.
Okay.
And then that helps me come up with an investment profile for you. All right. So we sit down and I may say, hey, I've got this aggressive suite of investments where we run some scenarios. You could have an average return of 18% all the way down to 2%.
Right.
Or I can say, hey, we've got this moderate set of returns that's going to average 6%.
Right.
Or I've got this conservative where, man, we gonna be at 4%, but it's there's no such thing as a guarantee. But it's going to be hard for us to lose this 4%.
Right. Less risk.
And that's where you start having the conversation with someone. And you're sitting down and that's the marriage of an advisor and a client.
Okay. So high risk. I don't know. For me, I wouldn't feel right at home like somebody took half my money. That's just me.
But see, me, I'm taking half the money.
Why though?
I'm risk averse.
Okay.
Like I'm risky in things that I can control.
Okay.
Like, so if I feel like, if it's like an athletic, like lifting a weight or something,
okay,
I know for a fact I can bet on myself in certain environments in an athletic competition.
Okay.
That I can control that outcome. I can't control the person that was going to come out here and take my money, or I can't control this coin.
Right.
So let me take what I can control. That's leaving with $500.
Okay. See, you had to fight me. But I guess, I mean, it can be a blessing and a curse to have that type of mindset, because you can lose it and to be a loss before you get it back, but you can also just walk out of here with the money. But I don't think 500 is a lot though.
Okay, so then for someone like you, I'd change the scenario to 25,000.
I probably still take the same.
So you tell me,
I feel like JG
you can leave with 12,500, or you're flipping the coin for the 50.
It's my money and I want it now.
So now you JG will. Nah, like, see, to me, I think, but the biggest risk that I've probably taken, and we'll see if it plays off or not, has probably been the hive.
Okay.
Like, that's probably the biggest risk I've ever taken in my life on anything that I've ever done.
I feel like it's working for you.
Well, we have the bones of it working. Okay. It just takes time. Businesses are, slow and steady. Wins the race. But I would say that if there's ever been a risk I've taken, it's probably been this. Yeah, this is by far the biggest. Typically, I'm a pragmatic person. That's how you become an advisor.
Oh yeah.
You're pragmatic. You sit for exams. You sit for client meetings. You sit for the mark. Like, everything is waiting and sitting.
Right.
This is probably the only thing that I've done where, all right, we're gonna see what happens.
I can't wait to sit too much.
I can. Yeah. See, I'm real comfortable in silence.
I mean, I've gotten comfortable in silence, but it's just, I don't know. I like to have movement.
I'm real comfortable being.
I'm getting
still.
to my silent phase where I can sit there and just be like, all right, cool.
Man, I am real comfortable with I'm not complacent.
Right.
But I am real comfortable with just being still.
So how did you get to this point though?
To take this chance,
or to a point where you're just so okay with the slow burn?
I think it just kind of was my personality. Okay. I'm probably, I'm a middle child, so there was a lot of activity above me and a lot of activity below me. So I was able to kind of like float in between. And once I realized what I was somewhat good at, I was comfortable being good at those things. I think I'm a decent communicator. I think I'm a decent collaborator. I think I'm a decent community builder. And once I realized that those were kind of the things that I was good at, I didn't try to go stretch myself for much more.
Right.
Now, some people, they'll start to, I got to do more. My more was just adding to my community, adding to how I communicated, adding to how I collaborated. So I never really felt like I needed to, I could just sit because I felt like I was doing what I wanted to do.
So there's a good way to do things and a bad way to do things, basically. Well, I wouldn't say bad.
Yeah,
but, there's two ways.
I might be doing things bad. Right. I just feel like I do things to keep my sanity.
And what works for you works for you.
Yeah. I learned that early, probably being a middle child, because when you're in a house and there's 4 boys, we're all my size.
Right.
Like we fighting for resources in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if we had so we're all athletes, we're all trying to matriculate our way, in some form. God bless my parents. I don't know how they did it.
Right.
I got 2 now and they kicking my butt. They had 4 of us, so I just think, I learned a lot of patience. I learned a lot of, hey, people may not have time for you. You make the time for yourself. Right. You have to anchor yourself in something. And that's just kind of something I stood on.
Man, you made me think about something. These schools be taxing.
Oh, absolutely.
My kids come home maybe 3 times a month, really, with some kind of fundraiser.
Absolutely.
Hey, I need you to pay for this. Can you pay for this? And the kids don't know. They're just like, hey, I want to do this.
They have no clue. Yeah, they have no clue that they're...
It's like they use the kids to get you.
Yeah, they do, because remember, schools are underfunded too.
Yeah.
Especially if they're in the public. They're underfunded, and
depend on the area too.
Even in the good areas, they're underfunded. The only problem is the parents are willing to kick in.
Yeah. That's the difference.
Every school is underfunded. Just the parents in the areas are willing to kick in.
Because they come home all the time.
Oh, whatever.
$50 here, $100 there. Well, 100.
Yeah. And we don't know where that money goes.
We don't. At my kids' school now, they implemented this thing called Fun Food Fridays. Oh, they got it.
They getting over. I already know.
They get over.
They getting over.
All the kids show up with all this money buying snacks.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But to the school, that's probably a part of their budget at this point.
It probably is.
Yeah, it's probably. Hey, we got to get them kids to come in with fun food. Like, it's part of their budget.
Yeah. The house. Just put them in your bag.
Absolutely.
but like you said, comparison last time.
Yeah.
They want to go buy it because their friends are buying it.
Yeah, you can't be the only kid nothing going to a snack bar. That's crazy.
Your parents are broke. No.
Yeah. Yes, we're broke. That's I tell my dad, hey, we in a moment right now. Like, you'll figure it out after. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. Like, because back in my pre-Jesus days.
Yeah.
When I was like traveling heavy, just spending money here and there. So we were at nice hotels on the water and stuff. My son still talks about that stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be a core memory for him.
It's a
like
core
we
memory.
talked about before. Yep.
So, we haven't been to a hotel. So we're not in that season right now.
Yeah, we going to get there.
We going to go.
Yeah.
But right now, we're not in that season.
Yeah. And kids are resilient. So they'll understand that.
Very adaptable.
As long as you're honest with them. That's why I think we talked about this before last time too. If I'm working with a family, I like to have what I call family governance included in the conversation. If the kid is 12 or older, they need to be in these conversations too, to a degree.
Right.
Because you want them to start making decisions about money. So to your point about that hotel, I do this activity a lot with families. Hey, we're planning our summer vacation this year. I got y'all 4 hotel options. Okay. Let's talk to Caleb or Johnny or whatever, Sheila, whatever the kid's name is. What do y'all think these options are right now? You heard us talking about money, and you know what? Kids are smart. They'll be like, well, I want to really do the activities. So why don't we stay at this one that's $200 less a night? And then maybe you give me $50 for the activities. They will suss that out.
Really?
Because
I want to try with my kids.
You've already have to start having the conversations though. They won't do it the first. Yeah. So if you do that, they won't do it the first time.
Okay.
First time it's going to be, I want to be on the beach.
Oh yeah. My kids want to go to Nickelodeon Resort. and I'm like, man, y'all dream big. I love it, but your pockets is deeper than your mind. I mean, it's shallower than your mind.
But it's a good activity.
It is.
If you give your kids, and I encourage parents to do this. I do it a lot, but they got to be about. I mean, you might be able to go as low as 10, but about 12. Because 12, they probably spent some of their own money for real. You know, maybe they've had an allowance, maybe they've had to make a decision at the store or something. And if you've been having conversations, talk about what the summer plans are. Hey, I know you want to go to this camp. Here's some options of where we might stay at the camp.
Okay.
But if we do this, you can only do 2 days at the camp. If we stay here, you can do 4. They're going to look at it. They're going to come back with a good option. I've seen it happen more often than not.
I'm going to try this weekend. Because I already have like money conversations with them. Because they be like, hey, can we buy pizza?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, we planning a trip. Would you rather save your money for that trip or get the pizza now that you're not going to remember in next
Delayed gratification.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll surprise you. Like, because like, and we probably had this experience. Most people don't even know as a kid what your family situation is unless they're exposed to environments where there's extreme like wealth around them.
Right.
Like they definitely know when they walk into a mansion.
Oh yeah.
What they can't differentiate is the house down the block versus the house in the neighborhood across the street. That all feels the same to them.
Right.
You know, River Oaks feels different than Third Ward.
Absolutely.
But food is on the table every night.
In both places.
In both places. And that's kind of what kids experience. It's when they have so much scarcity that they can't eat or they don't have clothing or things like, or their power gets shut off or stuff like that. That's when they start having to dip into their resilience. But most of the time, they don't even know.
Yeah. I was reading a book. Somebody said she didn't know she was broke until she went to her friend's house.
That's how it works.
I'm like, because I didn't know anything about our parents' finances. I just knew food was there.
And you could go in the fridge. You probably had a room or you shared a room with a sibling.
I shared a room with my middle brother I'm the youngest. So I shared a room with my middle brother for a while until my oldest one moved out.
Yeah. So that's most of our experience. You know, shared a room, hand-me-down clothes.
No, I hate hand-me-downs.
But you had them.
Yeah.
You know, I had them too. And some of those hand-me-downs, I wanted to wear that Tommy.
Yeah.
Like I was looking forward to wearing that.
There was some that I was
but
peeking at, but
now kids, they have they don't even experience that. They don't experience a hand-me-down.
My kids are spoiled.
Matter of fact, I'm changing that today. Now that I think about it.
You gonna get these.
I just thought about that. Yeah. They wearing my clothes now. I'm handing them down that way. Yeah. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm treating them wrong. I gotta change it up. Yeah. I got to.
The oldest girl, she's growing out of stuff. So I still got my little girl coming up. I'm like, we're gonna keep some of this
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's in good condition for sure.
But kids are more rough on things than I ever was. Nowadays.
These kids, and they don't even go outside.
They don't.
Which is crazy.
They're just rough on stuff.
They be pulling on their clothes and stuff.
It is. I don't know what changed. Something changed. That we don't have the same collective experiences as we used to. So I think these kids they're in a world of their own, but it's a blessing because hopefully they take us to the next generation for sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Pray for them.
No, pray for us. We're the ones they got to take care of us at our old age.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So be nice to your kids.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
There's a lot of us caring for aging parents right now. And some of y'all are caring for your parent with resentment.
No.
I want my kids to be like, I got dad. You know, I got moms. I don't want them to feel like they don't want to be around me. Yeah. So that matters.
Healing. That's my department.
Yeah,
Healing
that's your department. Yes, that is your department.
Healing is important because it bleeds everywhere in every part of your lives, even if you don't realize it. Because if you're looking for something to fix, watch your kids' habits because they pick up on everything.
Yeah,
and sometimes they'll do something you'll see yourself in it, like, oh, I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah, and it usually starts with cursing.
Yeah, well,
because you'll hear that kid curse.
Yeah,
and you'll be like, where'd you get that from?
You
know
what? The oldest at 2 said sugar, honey, iced tea. And I looked at my wife. I said, that's all you.
So in the house, that was she, sugar, honey, iced tea. And you?
She just always said it.
Okay.
She could hit her toes.
The kid gonna pick that up?
She picked it up quickly.
Yep. And you don't know, and they don't know what they're saying.
They don't.
They just know, hey, it's an expression that mom's likes. So I'm like mom.
I'm trying to be like mom. Especially girls. I'm trying to be like mom. Boys is like, I'm trying to be like dad.
So I'm gonna say it. loud
and proud. And then when they get in trouble, like, what I do?
Absolutely.
What you did.
And that's usually where that first behavior, at least from what I've seen, at least in my house, the first behavior is that curse. I shouldn't be saying that around.
But they also learn it from school too.
True. But I still think the home is the biggest influence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if you have a good foundation at home, the outside world isn't going to impact them as much as it can. Versus a kid who doesn't have that love and things at home, they're gonna go to the streets and get it.
Yeah. I would tell a joke right now that I like my part of my stand-up set, but we'll save it for off the camera. It's about home versus school, but we'll save it off the camera.
Got you. I can't wait to hear this one.
It's a good joke too. I think it's a good start to my 1 minute comedy special. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. But even back to finances, kids pick up on spending habits.
They do. They sure do.
It took me a while, maybe like 4 years ago. I realized I will always go into the store and grab a candy bar or something. And I never could think about why I did it. Like, why am I keep doing this? I don't really want it. And I realized my dad was doing it.
Yeah. And that conditioning
becomes so natural.
You like you said, you didn't even know why you were doing it.
Just know I wanted it.
Yeah. You just knew that a part of my routine when I go to the store, this front console, which they know,
put it right there by the
plays right into the register.
Psychology.
They know that. Behavioral finance.
Yep.
Their goal is to put places and things in the grocery store, in the convenience store that attract you in a certain way to get the brain to say, well, you know what? This ain't that big deal. Go ahead and put it in.
90 cents.
and that 90 cents adds up. Now, do I want people to sacrifice themselves for something 90 cents? No. But if it's an everyday, now you're at $5 a week.
Yeah.
You're at $60 a month.
Starbucks.
You know, you start to add up. Yeah.
Some coffees.
Yeah.
And you can make coffee at home type thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah. And in that, it affects your health.
Yeah.
Back to my department.
And that health being wealth for real.
Oh yeah.
Like being of my goal is to make it to both my daughters. And I can't say wedding because I don't know what they'll do, but at least both my daughters peak of whatever their education is.
Okay.
I want to be around to see what they decide that their life is going to be. You know, and that's, I've got a 4-year-old. So, I had one of those COVID babies. So I have to be around. You know what I'm saying? So,
they are different.
Yeah, they're different. The COVID babies they're resilient.
They are some thugs.
Yeah. They got some chromosome we don't have. I can promise you.
Something.
Yeah, I can promise
you. My 4-year-old walks around like she run the house.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I got a crazy story about, just my wife and I being in the hospital during that time and me having to deliver my second daughter because our traveling doctor was not available. The traveling nurse was not available. It was just us at the hospital where no one else could be in because of COVID.
That was peaceful though.
Man, it was wild for me.
It was wild because I almost had to deliver mine too.
I had to.
The nurses came in right when she was coming out.
So at the minimum, my wife. I don't care what I do. I'm standing on. Hey, I delivered. I can do what I want. That's
I was the first one to hold her.
Yeah.
I have authority.
Yeah, you can't say nothing to me. And then I get yelled at. So I avoid that as much as I can.
We try stuff, and then they turn like, all right, I'm just playing.
Yeah, it does not work. It does not work.
In rapping, man, is there any last final words you have?
Yeah, I would tell people that in this, I want to come back because there's some other stuff that we can get into.
Part 3 coming.
But what I would tell people is, especially we started with the conflict, get away from American cable news. To get the real story of what's happening, you have to find it in other sources. So I want to give a few that I find comfortable. I like Al Jazeera, non-biased, in my opinion, just presenting the facts. Okay. There are YouTube channels that I'll give you a few as well that will tell the story. There's a guy named Malcolm Nance. His show is called Black Man Spy. Okay. He was a military professional for over 40 years, worked his way through the government, who does things in a way where there's no opinion. Okay. Because what we get a lot to make you scared of the economy, make you scared of gas prices, make you scared of what's happening in the administration. Some of that is to scare the world. Yeah. And it's not always factual. Mm-hmm. So I like to give people more places where they can get resources. Right. And then for me, the gold standard of financial information, or at least in my opinion, is Bloomberg. Okay. So if you're watching like Bloomberg Watch versus CNBC, which has a lot of performances on it, you got to go to the places that are boring, that are just presenting the facts, because that's where your real information will come from.
Because entertainment grabs attention.
And that's what all the cable news is. It's opinion and entertainment. And you don't need to choose a side. I have a side, but money doesn't have a side.
It doesn't.
And if you're only watching the entertainment, you're going to choose a side that's counter to your ultimate goals.
So you heard it first.
Yeah.
Again, this episode was definitely brought to you by TRG Financial. If you need somebody, there's somebody right here. Check. I'm gonna have those web resources in the show notes. Remember, your money is important. Your health is important. Don't buy the little candy at the at the register. You could be one Snickers away from diabetes. That's my department. But remember, guys, continue to learn. Education is important. Get out of the media, the mass media, because they're trying to scare you. And ask questions. We have to be willing to ask for help, and to be open to receive that help, because that's important too. But until next time, keep rising, kings.